Good morning. Welcome back to the program. Climate activists have caused disruption in Sydney during peak hour, and the group responsible say it is just the beginning of a week of illegal protest. Kenny Heatley is live in the CBD and was following the group for more than an hour through the city streets. Kenny, how many arrests did you see?
Personally, I saw 5 people getting arrested, but there was most likely more that I couldn't see at that particular time. About 100 people gathered in Hyde Park at 8 a.m, and then they started moving through the city. They were making a bit of noise with drums and they were holding up signs, but there was no particular direction. They were just kind of doing loops around the CBD during peak hour, and they would come to an intersection and stop there for a while, but as they were walking, they would bring things from the side of the road onto the streets, like bins and signs and building materials and traffic bollards. They would pull them into the middle of the road. But they weren't on the road very long because the police that was following them would come up behind them and would move them straight away. The police tried to move them off the road by force a couple of times, but struggled because whenever they did so, then they would just go straight back onto the road. So they were out there just trying to cause as much disruption as possible during the busy hour that is peak hour in the city. And I attempted to talk to one of these protesters as we were walking.
And the government has promised 110 new coal and oil mines, even though we all know our climate is and with the IPCC report, scientists, we have nurses, we have teachers, we have lawyers, we have students. We are not unemployed, we are intelligent, educated, and we give a about the climate, and shit needs to change.
There was also one incident that was reported where a TV cameraman was walking backwards filming, and one of the protesters allegedly threw a milk crate in behind him, so he tripped over, and apparently he was injured from that. I was also metres away from a particular incident where a fed-up motorist on Bridge Street attempted to drive through the protesters, and the protesters were in front of the car trying to stop him from going through the intersection. Well, he just kept on driving, and that was quite a dangerous situation as well. As far as I know, no one was injured in that particular incident. And then there was the Sydney Harbour Tunnel, southbound. A car blocked the entrance to the Sydney Harbour Tunnel. A 22-year-old woman from Lismore bike locked her neck to the steering wheel and then had an interaction with police.
Sergeant Edwards, North Sydney Police is my name. You hop out of the car for us, thanks. You need to hop out of the car.
Laura, after about 45 minutes to an hour, the group dispersed, but that's not the end of it. They say that it's all a part of a week-long effort to disrupt the city, and they risk $22,000 fines and 2 years in prison for conducting these illegal protests if they do block a major road in Sydney.
Kenny, this is going to continue all week, and it's going to coincide with other strike action on our transport system, in our schools and in the hospitals as well. So these protesters might all be lumped in together.
That's right, and we should separate what's going on there. This is not unions that are doing this. This is a climate activist group known as Blockade Australia. And I have to say that it's not a particularly big group. They don't have big numbers on Facebook or anything like that. And there was only about 100 protesters here. But there is union industrial action that is taking place in the city and across the state this week as well, which is separate to what those climate activists are doing. We've got nurses walking off the job on Tuesday, teachers are striking on Thursday, shutting down schools, and there's going to be major disruption across the rail and public transport networks as negotiations between the state government and the rail union broke down on Friday night. Yeah,
it should be said that Blockade Australia are very different to the unions. Kenny, thanks so much. It's going to be a busy week for you.